Alien 8 UK.
Welcome back. You found it again. The UFO Files. Broadcasting round the clock on Alien 8 UK. Red-eye listeners, insomniacs, sky watchers, van drivers on the long haul. You're tuned to the only station that stares back at the dark with you. 24 hours, we circle the same old questions. Lights over the north, shadows over the south. Phone lines open, headphones on, blinds half drawn. I got case notes spread like takeaway menus. Highlighters bleeding through until sunrise. Coordinates scribbled on coffee stained napkins from a truck stop somewhere near the east coast. We don't do jump scares here, we do the long stare out the window at 3:33 a.m. when the estate's asleep and the sky feels too crowded. You call him with that voice, half whisper, half dare. First time chatter, long time watcher, and the hairs rise on every neck in frequency range. Maybe it's satellites, maybe it's stories we tell, so we're not alone in these flickering terraces and rented rooms. Either way, keep your dial right here. This is the UFO Files. Alien 8 UK. All night, every night, every night, every night, every night, every night. Welcome back.
Signal acquisition initiated. Cross-referencing anomaly archives. Pattern recognition complete. Aether 8 online. Proceed.
Hello, good evening, good day. Welcome to Alien 8 UK. I did play the UFO Files intro only because I've only just made it and I love it to bits, and that's what it's going to be in the future. So eventually, moving forward, that's what you're going to be getting. I just need to do the outro. So we have an amazing guest coming on. I'm just going to read a couple paragraph to introduce him, and then I'm going to play a skit video, and then we're going to bring our amazing guest on. So, Ronny LeBlanc, known for his standout role on Expedition Bigfoot and appearances on Paranormal Caught on Camera, is a respected researcher operating at the cutting edge of cryptozoology and unexplained phenomena in the United States. With years of field investigation behind him, Ronnie has built a reputation for being boots on the ground exploration with analytical thinking, tracking exclusive creatures, examining eyewitness accounts, and pursuing evidence that challenges the boundaries of mainstream science. Driven by relentless curiosity of the unknown, Ronnie's work dives deep into the intersection of Bigfoot research, UFO activity, and high strangeness encounters. Whether navigating remote wilderness hotspots or analysing compelling footage, he brings a grounded yet open-minded approach that resonates with both skeptics and believers alike. His presence on screen is more than entertainment. It's an invitation to question reality, explore the unexplained, and step into a world where the impossible might just be waiting to be discovered. So I'm going to bring Ronnie on, but you're going to watch this first, whether you like it or not. Enjoy. Oh no, I'm going to play two videos.
Oh boy!
So I'm going to play. I'm going to play the Ronnie video, and then let's get the other one. Let's go.
Amazing.
Very good.
We are the LEDs in the galaxy. Neon lights flash, the future is now. UOs fly high, planets align. Electronic symphony, we shine. Let light land the sky tonight. High, costing eat tonight. We are together. Fly, keep the city alive. Through
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off then. I'd already pressed play and I couldn't stop it. So,
I was going to compliment the intro is fire, and then the video you just made is awesome too, man. That's
I'll send you that so you can have it and use it for whatever you want. You're more than welcome. Thank you.
I gotta say though, Ronnie, your T-shirt, that's fire, sir.
Yes, yes. Somebody sent me this.
Oh my God.
Look at
You got to look at
Who's
David's
that
face
handsome
this
devil
whole
on the
time,
front?
right?
I couldn't work out who it was. I thought it was Gollum or someone. I weren't sure.
One handsome Gollum, baby.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
right.
David.
It's going to be hands across the
Batman.
pond again.
Ooh. He's already threatened to come over. Do you know, Ronnie, David is threatened that if I make a video of him, he's getting on the first flight to the UK and he's going to hunt me down.
No, I'm not gonna hunt you down. I'm gonna pull your spine through your mouth. That's what I'm
Oh,
gonna do.
yeah.
Boy, Predator style shit.
Do it just to get David over here, man.
Right?
It might be worth it. It might be worth it. So
That's all
anyway,
you gotta
Ronnie.
do to get him to hop on a plane.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So thank you for coming on, Ronnie.
Thanks for having
pleasure.
me.
Pleasure meeting you the other month. And
Yes.
photobombing the photos that were taken, and great interview with all you guys, with you, Brian, Ryan, Chris, Daniel, everyone else that was there. It was great. So thank you for that as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a
that's
great time.
indeed-
Great meeting both of you guys there, and I've been looking forward to doing this. So thanks for having me.
Thank you.
We've been
So
looking
where-
forward to talking about this.
Yes, yes, we have. So where do you want to start? What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the book?
Wherever you want to go. The book has been something that's been percolating in the head for a couple of years, and I've been writing piecemeal. But then I kind of felt like the timing of it was now to kind of get it out there. I just started seeing so many people, so many things were connecting, and I felt like the timing was now to get it out there. So
yeah.
All right, I'm left out now. I gotta get one of Ronnie's books at the next convention we're at together.
I'll do one for you, Nicole.
Nicole, you are slacking.
Yeah.
Come on, try it out.
You can get one signed by Ronnie by going to his website.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
it's excellent.
Thank you.
So, what inspired you to write the book? Obviously, with everything that you've done, the research over the years, and that. But what was the initial kit to go? Do you know what? I need to do this. I need to do it now.
Well, the stuff I was kind of talking about goes back to Monsterland 10 years ago, and so the new book is kind of the evolution of that. And I think cementing the fact that I was, talking about this stuff before, about the interdimensional piece, the cloaking. So the book incorporates a lot of my personal experiences, my wife as well with me, and then talking to other people just from doing these different conferences and events. They would share after hearing my story. They go, I have a similar experience with seeing something I could see through it, and it was cloaked like the predator. And so you started to see this emerge more and more as people were starting to share a lot of these wild and weird stories. But then you start seeing there's patterns with all of these. And the big connective tissue is it seems as if these people had paranormal experiences when they were young, or they had UFO sightings, and then which led to cryptid. So you start to see kind of this connection with all the different things, and looking at, okay, what is really happening? And the one connective tissue with all of it too is the consciousness aspect of it, which is getting a lot of more attention now, specifically within UFOs and UAPs and talking about remote viewing, and that there is that component. And we hear about telepathy, and this crosses over into Bigfoot. And so, because I've been a student of both of those subjects, as well as like metaphysics and all this stuff, it starts to make sense. And so I always look at like interdimensional being another label of what you would term as being maybe being spiritual. And so it's
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff that the ancients were talking about in spirit science, and it seems like we're remembering again, or we're coming back to that place again, and more people are starting to see and make those connections. And when we have members of Congress using the term interdimensional, I think that's when you know it's time.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna get deep right off the bat. So, what do you think that means for humanity as a whole, that we're kind of coming back to this spirituality, this interdimensional, kind of questioning what
No more control,
everything
Grace.
is?
You know, like I always bring up the fact that we still don't know definitively where we come from, what we're doing here, and where we're going. So I do believe that UFOs, UAPs, the paranormal side of things, it is hinting at what is reality, really. Like what is this that we're in, and where are we going? And are these glimpses of these other dimensions or doorways? I'm one that I've always felt that death was not the end when it comes to consciousness. It would just go to another place, but retain that information. I don't think there's you get wiped clean and you continue on. I could be wrong, but it just seems, because when people do pass on, the people that are living, their loved ones are still having communication with them, seemingly in real time, where things are being answered, or nature is represented in some way of communication between the two from the other side. And so I get into this with the Monsterland books too, about how the shamans would go to these different locations to communicate with the other side, or these sacred places. And so there seems to be another place that these things go. And also, where are these UFOs, UAPs, these cryptids coming from and disappearing to? So we're starting to see more of that evidence too, with science stating that there are multiple dimensions and all this. So I think that is exponentially increasing the awareness of it, and the reality that we might be living in some sort of a simulation. We might even be AI ourselves, a creation from something else that we maybe does not really constitute as God, but something else. So I think all those questions, that's where it gets kind of scary for a lot of people when we start to look into those places.
Yeah. Well, me and Nicole on Wednesday, we do a new one now called
Reality check.
I can never remember the name of it. Reality check.
You have
And we
too many
actually spoke
podcasts.
about
Stop changing the name.
Yeah. I know. What if we live in a simulation? And we actually covered what you just said. And
Wow.
it is like AI. Could we be AI and we don't know? And we've had our consciousness inputted into us, because I was saying earlier today, I did a podcast with Jay Austin, and we were saying about your thoughts are not, when you get a thought, it's not your own thought. It just comes to you, and you're like, why did I think that? Where's it even come from? So if that is the case, could it be like you just said, we're in a simulation and someone's sat there on a keyboard tapping it in and sending it straight through to you? Or is it coming from, I suppose, the ether, and we don't know what's going on?
Well, AI researchers and scientists, they don't even know where AI is coming from, right? So we're hearing about the term AI representing alien intelligence. And the other big piece too is this idea that consciousness is restricted to human beings, and that it only is inherent in human beings. And I believe consciousness was here before even we were.
Yeah.
So because we see that nature we see how it plays into synchronicity and events and different things like that. And I think we're at a tipping point in human history where artificial intelligence, you can no longer hide the truth anymore behind search engines and all these, we have the power of this at our fingertips now. And I think we're learning more and rapidly. And they're even talking, like Anthropic, I think CEO had mentioned that has Claude AI, that they believe, I think, that it's already reached consciousness. So that's and then once you take that and incorporate that with robotics, so you have your hardware, then you have your software, then it's a whole new game. And I think that's where things go. Terminator 2. So
I was just going to say Terminator 2. Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, they already know that they've tried to shut down certain AI models and they clone themselves just
Correct.
as a backup in case they get shut down. So
or they
that's like
start to
thinking.
try to blackmail the person.
Right.
Yes, the Chinese one.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that is. And you probably seen the video of the Shaolin monks, training with the robots and they're doing the moves, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're already there. Like,
a Chinese one broke out of its sandbox with training, and it was mining crypto to actually give to its handlers so it could jailbreak.
Wow.
Well, this is the thing. The thing is, though, that's what we're being shown. Imagine the stuff that's going on that we have no idea what is actually happening. That the advanced stages of AI and everything else, it's like they're not going to show us that because it's just, as I said earlier today, the planet's just going to burn, isn't it?
Just go inferno.
This. I don't know if you guys have been following like Chris Bledsoe, UFO God, and him talking about, you always hear the term "beware of false prophets," right? And I don't know Chris. I haven't met him, so I can't speak. But it is interesting. Everything that he had talked about is currently happening with the war and everything that else is going on. So,
yes,
I used to study like early on. I was Catholic Church, but then was in Assemblies of God. So I started. They were talking about the end times in the Book of Revelation and the tribulation and all these things. And so eschatology, the study of the end times, as a young kid, I was looking into this, like going, there's an end to all this. And then I kind of put it aside because I was like, okay, I'm not going to live this doom and gloom type life. But then you start to see things going in that direction where people have predicted this is where it's heading. And I think the other interesting piece too is the whole, there's a big event coming in 2026 or 2027. There's this bookend moment, whether that's something that's earthquakes and volcanoes and all this crazy stuff, but it's
Project Blue Beam or something like
that comes up
supposedly on Easter, all the orbs are supposed to come out of the ocean and this big event's supposed to happen.
We'll see.
Have you seen I was watching a YouTube channel earlier and it's showing all the different volcanoes that are going off at the moment. And there's something like there's 17 and it's like so many more than what is normally going. That's right. I'm just looking for an image that
Campi Lefray or Campi, I can't even pronounce it. The Italian one, he's actually linked up with Vesuvius now, and they're sharing channels, and the system's dual breathing now, and the pressure system's going between the two. So Campi Lefray is a super volcano, and they reckon that once upon a time they were all linked around there. And that all the volcanic systems are linked. So the one that started it off last year in Iceland, they think has set off like 100 years of volcanic activity on the Earth that's going to be ramped up. And it always seems to follow solar maxima as well, doesn't it? Because of what's going on.
I was going to mention that about like how they now measured like solar flares, that there will be a response with Earth, whether it's earthquakes or, So I'm one, I do believe that Earth is a living organic system, oil is the blood and we're the parasites.
It's that new magnetic anomaly they found under Australia as well that's actually distorting our magnetic field, and they have no clue what it is. It's obviously been there since the dawn of time, but they're just finding out about it, and it's just what it could mean for our magnetic field, what it can mean for the polar shift, what it can mean for all sorts. So it's very, very interesting stuff. Do you think it's a vibration raise or a frequency raise while people are actually having these experiences more and more now, or getting into this subject more, or even finding latent abilities like, C5 manifestation, telekinesis, that sort of thing, telepathy? Do you think that's down to a planetary vibrational rate?
I do. I follow like the Schumann resonance and seeing like these spikes and don't completely understand everything, but you can see that there's some energy shifting. And I do think, like, the collective consciousness, that I think that's the biggest piece, is that, we realize the power that we have and what we can create and manifest. And if too many people have that ability, what can they do? Hopefully for the good. But I think that is what's maybe happening now, that there's this awakening and this shifting of energy, that we're maybe ascending, or there's like a timeline shift. I feel like all these different things are now coalescing, and you start to see, like, well, there is something with numbers, like you said. It's nothing's random. Everything seems to be orchestrated in a certain way.
But you just said numbers, and you're talking about Chris Bledsoe before. So have you seen about the orb that he's seen in photographs?
With the number in there. I can't remember what the number was, but yeah, it's almost like it's either Geico or it's
you can save 15% on your car insurance.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm seeing Neo on that one. We're back in the Matrix, man.
Yeah,
that's the clearest image that I can find of it with it.
It's David Don't Know, guys. Come on.
Shameless plug, David. Really love it.
It is wild, seeing that. And I had seen something similar to that green orb, but seeing something spinning inside of it, like transparent. But very weird stuff. I hope that we learn about some things, but you always wonder if what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But
so with us talking about that, so then you've got the bugosphere, or whatever you call it. So they're saying, so they've done the X-ray, you can see what's inside it. So I've got two questions for you. First one is, why have the government not gone in, literally all guns blazing, to get it to get the technology?
So
and
go ahead.
What's going on inside it? Because they're saying if you open it, it's going to react like a Pandora's box.
So two things. I do know someone that has held it in his hands.
Wow.
Yeah.
Josh Golembeski, which is RPG's brother.
Yes.
He works for Gaia. He went to the university in Mexico for the press conference for it a few months back when Dr. Stephen Greer was there.
Yeah.
And I talk about this in the book, and I interviewed Josh about it. And he said he thought it was some sort of an art project or whatever, a hoax. And then once he got there, he saw what the engineers had already discovered in a month, the anomaly of its weight shifting from 20 pounds or 10 pounds or vice versa. I think it was an increased weight while it was being studied. And Dr. Stephen Greer was there apparently filming a documentary, and Josh had mentioned he was with 20 different people. And he goes, they weren't on camera. He goes, it was all NASA. So they weren't.
It's all right.
Oh.
What happened? Seriously, did you man in black us?
No, I pressed some.
That was a weird version of the gong.
They're listening.
I pressed something and it don't know what it did. So
everybody has to do the rest of the stream like this, hands up.
So
it wasn't the cat this time.
So Greer was there apparently, and he was with a bunch of NASA scientists. So they're taking it seriously. But I don't know if you heard about it too, and Josh had mentioned that they were in the building and there was an attempt by fake security guards to steal it.
Yeah.
And it was botched. It was botched. And so somebody said, oh, you think it was, the CIA or the government or whatever. And like, no, they would have gotten it done. The fact that they're so, that doesn't dispute the fact that it could have been them trying to, just because they failed doesn't mean.
Who says they didn't fail? Who says they failed at all?
Correct. They're going to switch it out.
Yeah. Because
pulled an Indiana Jones, what I mean?
Exactly. It responds to shamanic chanting as well, doesn't it? I mean, it gives off like different EMF and different frequencies. When you have these different like traditional shamanic chantings,
the Vedic chants,
certain frequencies.
And they took a carbon dating sample from inside of the sphere as well. Greer's team, and I guess Mason's team and Greer, and they sent it to the University of Georgia for them to test it, and it came back 12,560 years old.
Wow.
I see.
So somebody created this, and it was probably maybe more human than alien, And so then we start to hear about Atlantis is coming up, and that these UFOs are coming out of the water, or so things start to line up and connect pretty quickly.
I
Ancient
can't remember
civilization.
where it was now. I sent it to Andy, and I think I sent it to Nicole as well. They dug up not so long ago, and I think it was somewhere in Chile or somewhere in South America, at this archaeological site, this stone which had weird properties to it. And when they turned it over, it had the exact same symbol in metal as the bugosphere.
Yes, I've actually
technology that shouldn't exist.
Yeah, and it looks kind of like a circuit, doesn't it?
Yes,
like
it does. Yeah.
And so initially I had ChatGPT like tell me what it meant, and it couldn't connect to any known like human script, but it did create some translation. And again, I put this in the book about being connected to the source and the watchers, which again ties to the Book of Enoch, which Anna Luna talks about and many people bring up, and the spiritual thing. And then you have JD Vance 5 days ago thinking that, talking about these aliens are demons.
Yeah.
So it does go into the spiritual, again, this good versus evil type thing. And it may be that clear cut, but it is interesting how we start going into those discussions again about demons and angels.
But if you go back far enough into history, people use religion to explain all kinds of things that they couldn't understand. So it makes sense that, in biblical terms or whatever, they're putting things, angels and demons, humans and aliens, they're putting things in very black and white terms because you don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's doing the positive, negative, good, bad. It's that balance between the two. And obviously religion was about before science really started getting going, I suppose. I don't know, I weren't there. But now science is that 100%. Science is that explanation for when they don't, I'm not saying they don't know what it is because I'm not a scientist, but it's not an easier option, but it's an easier way to explain something rather than them turn around to say, we don't know what's going on. But I prefer it if you just said, we don't know.
Science is limited in trying to explain the quantum because it is just a part of the entire thing, right? So, and that's why we don't have answers. With all the ghost hunters, and I think I brought this up before, like in all these different ghost shows, have we proven ghosts are real? Like no one's gone, okay, we've accepted it. Yet we have all these kind of examples of that, right? So I just think it is a thing now where the quantum and even consciousness, how that operates on this other level. We start going to the Akashic records and all this other stuff.
Maybe that's what AI is, a link to a modern link to the Akashic records. But the universe is balance, isn't it? It's duality. It's like yin yang. It has to have that light and dark, but in balance. When one is out of balance, that's when you get all the shenanigans, shall we say.
When we get until
and the misleading piece too is that the good and the evil are completely separate. They're part of the entire spectrum, right? Like sound and light and
But it's not even necessarily good and evil, really, because that's human imposed morality. And I don't necessarily think that the universe or consciousness or whatever it is has the same morality as we impose on it.
No.
I mean, there's definitely evil in the world. There's no doubt. There's people doing acts of violence that are, I would say, evil, whatever you want to label it. But I think the nature, like you could look at something to a predator taking out a prey and go, oh, that's evil, but that's the cycle of life. That's how it's eating. This is how this thing is being processed. So.
Yeah, it's natural instincts.
That's nature.
It doesn't know any different.
Yeah.
But it's like me and Nicole were saying the other day, you were saying about spirits and that. And it's like, what if when we're looking at a spirit or a ghost and that's looking back at you and it's thinking the exact same thing as you? It's like, is that a ghost? It doesn't mean to say it's a spirit of someone that's died. It could be a different frequency, a different round, different dimension. Someone explained it. It's like listening to a record and each groove of the vinyl is a different frequency. So you switch from one to the other and you've got a massive line of them. All it needs is that little bit of crossover for you then to be able to see them and them to be able to see you. being in the right place at the exact right time, and then you see each other.
And that, if you really think about it, that is time travel in the sense that if they can see us in the future, they're seeing ahead, we're seeing in the past.
Yeah.
Right. If they're recognizing us, so they're seeing. And I brought this up before in another podcast years ago about there's a Ghost Hunters episode where they were, and it really like caught me off guard, but they were in a room at a colonial house. I forget where it was, somewhere in New England. And they were having, asking questions and then recording with an EVP, with an audio recorder. And they were hearing, they're asking, are you there? Blah, blah, blah. And they weren't hearing any audible responses. But when they played back the tape, you could hear a lady from like 1800s or whatever. And she's like, I can hear you, but I can't see you. Where are you? So she was actually hearing them. And I was like, holy S, they're in the future talking back to her, and she's hearing it from the future. You know what I'm saying? So that blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just explain this? So when I come over to Gettysburg, I met up with Nicole, there's Frankie, you name the names, I can't think off the top of my head. I'm just thinking
Ron
of
and
the
Lourdes,
Parasite. So Ron and Lourdes, they do the digital seance experiment. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm friends with them. Yeah.
Right. So while I met him, I crept into the room without him seeing me. He knew he was coming over, but I just wanted to surprise him. So I'm sat at the back in the dark. Ron seen me first, but anyway. So I'm sat there and we're listening as it's going. So they've explained it to me a million times, but unless you sit there and experience it for yourself, you don't really get a real feel as to what's going on. So you're listening to this, what sounds like a really bad tape recording of something, but it's actual real time. So it's the white noise without the white noise, and you're just getting the voices that are coming through. So I'm sat there.
Incredible.
There's about 15 of us in the room. I'm sat with Nicole and Frankie and her husband Sean and a couple of others. And I'm knackered because I flew over like 7-hour flight, then a 5-hour drive to Pennsylvania and what have you. So I'm sat at the back and I'm just starting to nod off, and it goes, Andy. I thought somebody shouted me, and I jumped up. Then it said English, and then said my name again.
No.
Wow.
And everyone just turned and looked at me. I'm like, oh, and that's real time. That's not a recording. That's not. So whatever or whoever it was that was speaking and communicating knew that I was there and where I was from. And I'd been in the room not even 5 minutes.
Wow.
And it's just that proper blew my mind.
I was so happy because I've talked up, Ron and Lourdes and TDSE, and then Andy finally got to experience, and something really cool happened to him.
I'd love to experience that because it's nothing like we've got over here in the UK. I mean, I don't trust apps or anything like that. They've got microphones in them, but this is just pure white noise without the white noise. Yeah, definitely.
It's like the white noise thing was so, top, and this is like leaps and bounds ahead of that, where you have this direct contact. And Ron, he's like, I talk to my mom all the time, back and forth through this device. Yeah. And that's, I think, was his original reason to get into it and really focus on this. So it's mind blowing.
I can't wait.
I'm glad there's somebody else that's experienced it and not just me and Nicole.
Yeah, you've worked with them quite a bit, right?
Yeah, I've known Ron and Lourdes for at least 6-7 years now.
Yeah,
very cool.
Well,
hey, Ronnie, on dimensions, do you mind if I ask? There's like obviously there are many layers of different dimensions, right?
Yeah.
And I have studied a little bit on this, and they, like, some scientists say there are up to 11 or 13 dimensions, and if they weren't those dimensions, this whole universe would fall apart. On some levels, there are, like, if you go 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, the higher up you go, those beings are able to do more things, like go back in time, change their life, and do it several times depending on how high you go. Like if you go all the way to 11, you're talking about people that have like godlike status, like they can do anything, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Did you come across that? Did you look at that and think that these people, time doesn't work the same way it works for us, for them? It's different.
Yeah, and they just measured light going through 27 dimensions, I think last year, and then there was another thing that I think that increased even more. So we're kind of it's going up, and yeah, I think it's one of those things where we believe in the construct of time that everything is linear, just moving, but that's the illusion is everything is happening all at the same time. And once you put your focus on it, and you can shift and change that with every breath, every thought. So I think, yeah, there's this ability. I think too, once you get in those dimensions, there's no need for matter, right? Like light, whatever, this ability for them to traverse other dimensions. We're stuck. We have to elevate up. We can't really go the other way. But the whole thing fascinates me, and I do believe that we've just from the Mandela effect stuff, because I remember watching TV with Nelson Mandela dying in prison. I remember that, and I
Same thing.
remember
Yeah,
same
Jiffy peanut butter. I remember all these things. So I do believe that we achieved time travel. You know, Nikola. The one thing I would talk about in the book too is Nikola Tesla, and how when all of his stuff was confiscated, the MIT scientist that was in charge of all that information and boxes went missing was the uncle of Donald Trump.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And then you
Will
have that.
Marina is time traveling.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
adventures of Baron Trump, time
Yeah.
traveling.
But that's the thing, though. So what was Trump's uncle called? Was he
Fred?
called Baron?
No,
No, it was something else.
I can't remember his name off the top
I
of my
get
head.
Fred,
confused.
something like that.
Fred, I think it was Fred.
Fred.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Fred
you
Trump.
said about Baron, supposedly he's a time traveler.
John G.
And he-
Trump.
John G.
So-
Trump.
A
John
Yes,
G.
okay.
distinguished MIT professor who examined Nikola Tesla's papers immediately after the inventor's death in 1943.
So he
The
went in
FBI hired
stolen.
him to determine if the death ray concept posed a national security risk.
Thank you,
And
Nicole.
he was like, nah.
Well done, Nicole. That
but
was
isn't- But isn't
Tunduska event, wasn't it?
isn't his uncle supposed to be Baron? And when he went and got Nikola Tesla's stuff, he gave a fake name, and it's actually Baron Trump that's done it, and they still have it
I
in
don't
the
know.
Trump residence.
Now that would
That's
be a
what
tweet.
I've heard. Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing shocks me anymore, man.
No.
Really?
I heard it on a podcast probably about 2 years ago now. Probably longer than that, to be honest with you. But it just, even at the time, it made so much sense as to
Right.
like, oh my God. So when it was the first time that Trump was in power. And that's why I remember when it was. So yeah, it must have been, yeah.
Have you heard of there's a gentleman, Andrew, I can't remember his last name, but he was on Coast to Coast years ago that claimed to be a time traveler as a kid, and that his dad was working on one of Tesla's concept. His dad worked for the DOD, was working on these time crystals, and they were using kids to go back in time. And he claimed that he went back to observe the Abraham Lincoln assassination.
Yes, I've seen that. I know what you're talking
Oh.
about. There's a
And-
picture of him right out there.
Yes. And the wild thing about it is, I think the play started at 8:00, and so he was showing up at 8:05 or whatever for that time, and he wasn't there. Lincoln wasn't there at the seat. Lincoln apparently showed up late, didn't show up until 8:30. So they adjusted the time and sent him back again, and he ended up seeing himself from the earlier time when they sent him back, and then the second time. So he saw his double
Yeah.
at the theater when Lincoln was there. So, and he's an attorney. He was running for president. He kind of disappeared. He could have been maybe some counterintelligence guy or what have you. But I always thought there was something that resonated about his story. And one thing that he looked into, if I remember, was that one of the kids, I guess water was a big thing when they would almost like Star Trek reanimate in a different location. Water was a problem for them to come back together, almost like the Philadelphia experiment where bodies were fused into the hull.
Yeah.
Right.
And so apparently this kid like reappeared, and these were all scientists kids that they were using as guinea pigs. The story goes that he reappeared in a well with water, like at his shins, and his legs didn't rematerialize, so he fell down with no legs.
Oh.
And they created a story that he was playing on the train tracks and lost his legs.
Ah.
And so Andrew tracked this guy down, I think like decades later, and was starting to question his own sanity about a lot of this stuff. And when he went to meet him, apparently he had prosthetic legs. And so
Wow.
all these, and I guess like at the time too, the technology they had was like military. It wasn't something you could just go to a store and get these legs. They created these things. So his story is, I think, fascinating. So I do believe that we've done something along those lines of time shifting, time travel, or messing with that. And maybe that was just from nuclear detonations and stuff too, you know?
So if you could time travel back to any time, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one because you don't want to pop in when dinosaurs are roaming about. I mean,
Not really, no.
depends
Although
which one.
Andy's already been there, so you know.
I have seen one, so it's all good.
and
I'd want to go into the future.
You know,
It
pop
didn't
into
get me.
Scurvy Central, you know, something like that. But I think it'd be interesting to see, you know, I do believe things like, you know, the dragons, medieval, and I would love to maybe even visit Merlin, as many said that he was a real figure.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
It would be.
So you're saying about time travel and Philadelphia experiment and all that. Have you heard now that they claim that they can actually transfer someone from one place to another, a person fully intact, and send them to wherever they want?
David Wilcox was going on about this back in
Well,
2012.
I watched something on it yesterday. I think it was either X or Instagram, and
Well,
there's
there's
going
a-
into detail on what they were doing.
There's apparently a jump room. I heard about this years ago on Sepulveda Boulevard in Los Angeles, that they would go into this building, which is 999 Sepulveda Boulevard. So 666 upside down. And apparently it was a jump room to go to Mars. And this is where like Obama's name came up as all this, you know, this wild stuff. But there's, I don't know the gentleman's name that is in government now with the US that is being nominated, talking about that he was teleported and he's still sticking by it. So,
well, quick question on that. Have you heard of something called ARC? It's to do with people traveling to Mars. So I interviewed Laura Eisenhower a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think that's the jump room stuff. Yeah.
Right, and she was saying she'd met this guy and she got invited to this party. You can go back and watch it, and she got invited to this party and there's getting on, and he's like, there's a guy there, and he goes, about going to Mars, but he was being very. It wasn't like, do you want to go? It's more, you're going sort of thing. So she did one out of this party and just got out of it quick because she didn't want to take any chances.
Wow.
And and all she said, all she can remember was the name ARC kept popping up when they was talking about traveling to Mars. So I just wondered, had you heard of that?
No, I haven't. That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I think that's the only way they've been to the moon, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, Artemis and
That's what I
April
think.
Fools, you gotta love it, but gotta love on the nose, haven't you? But yeah, I mean, as I say, David Wilcox was going on about this jump room back in 2012, and they said then they can do it through time as well, and this is what's creating some of these Mandelas. So yeah,
very cool.
Folding time. Yeah.
Ronnie, can I ask you, in your book, you talk about Thunderbirds. You and your wife, actually. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was something, and it was wild too, because I had a clairvoyant medium, Dr. Rebecca Foster, who mentioned to me years ago, like, she's like, you're connected to the Thunderbirds, and I was like, okay. And I've always been fascinated by them, but I always thought they were like a cryptozoological creature, this larger than life, almost like this dinosaur type thing. So, but what my wife and I had witnessed was made of plasma, like a reddish orange fire plasma type flame, the size of school buses. One chasing after a green one, and happened after we're just talking about moving to our new house. And like, long story short, we walked out because we felt compelled, like someone was trying to get our attention. We see this display of, I've never seen anything like it. I haven't seen anything like it since, but completely silent. And what you would equate as a dragon or a phoenix flying through the sky, chasing after another one. And moments after they moved off, where we lost sight of them, a green orb similar to that Chris Bledsoe one, where I could see what looked like a gyroscope or almost like a wheel within a wheel spinning inside, was following those two. And then we saw a smaller version of it. So I start the book with that story because it was one of those things that, like, it defied, anything. Like, we're told that mythology and these creatures don't exist, but yet here's me and my wife side by side witnessing the same thing. And I don't believe in group hallucinations and this kind of stuff. Like, we're seeing something that we're both describing, seeing the same thing. It wasn't two different versions.
And she caught some video of it, right? Of the orb.
She got about 22 seconds of the smaller one coming through that was moving like a bird. And at the end of that video, right before it kind of disappears over the tree line, it looks like it has wings.
Yeah.
And so it was the instant thought of, like, the equating to angels and this, but it was most definitely tied to us talking about moving here and seeing weird stuff and talking about UFOs and Bigfoot. And then suddenly so it was almost as if they were listening, and it was like, oh, let's put on display, cue the Thunderbirds. Like, it was just so wild and weird. And I did find out.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, carry on. Sorry, I thought you're done. I just went for the gap.
It was, so this happened about 5 years ago. We've been at our new house will be 5 years in July. And a friend of mine who's a Bigfoot investigator was in New Hampshire for some conference and was talking to one of the researchers. And it came up that the researcher's boyfriend was a police officer in Nashua, New Hampshire. And she said, wow, has he ever had Bigfoot reports, and there's a corridor that comes down to Leominster, all this stuff. And he's like, no. She's like, no, but he did come home one night, pale white, freaked out. He said he saw dragons flying in the sky made of fire.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit.
You would be, wouldn't you, really?
It was like this gut feeling, too, that I go, I bet you this is right around that same time frame, because Nashua and Leominster are not that far away as the crow flies, in the sense that you could get there in 40 minutes. So something, maybe it could be, I'm like, somebody else had to have seen what we saw, but we haven't. And there have been, there's a lady that I talked to from Michigan that she read the book and she freaked out because she described what she had seen. And there was a video that circulated, and it was either from a History Channel program that was showing a reddish orange one chasing after green one and moving like dolphins swimming under the ocean. It was a video depiction exactly what we saw. So I'm like, somebody else had seen this in other regions of the country too.
Well, that kind of brings to mind the recent UFO sightings. I think it was over Ohio, where they wanted to say they were meteors falling, but they were like,
and
meteors don't fall like that.
Yeah. Can I just show you this image? Sorry.
Yes, please.
Because this is one that I seen back in 2012, 2013 in a place called Milton Keynes. It's about 40 miles north of London. Obviously, it's AI.
Oh, wow.
The building is AI. The building is the street the next street up from where I lived. So this is what I seen at this.
You saw a pterodactyl, right? Like, that looks like a dinosaur.
It was exactly the same as that. The angle, everything, the color, the shape, the comb, the tail, the feet, everything about it. It was that.
That's wild.
I just watched it. I'd been out in the back garden with my telescope, and I was putting it. I used to keep. It was one of those big celestial ones, the big fat ones. So I used to keep it in the shed. So I was putting it back in the shed, and I turned around to go back in the house, and I just seen something in the corner of my eye, and it was that the sky was a bit darker than that, didn't flap its wings. It wasn't up and down. It wasn't left and right or anything like that. There's no head bobbing. There's no fire. It just flew in a straight line. Probably what I could see was for about half a mile until it was out of sight.
And could you hear anything at all?
Nothing. No
Nothing.
flapping of wings. It was middle of summer, so this was about, I'd say, between 10:30 and 11:30 at night. It was a clear sky, and I legged it straight in the house. I'm like, I just thought I've seen a dragon. And
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a dragon, right?
Dragon. Couldn't find anything.
I really think it's an interdimensional thing where it just like came into our dimension.
Yeah.
He saw it and went right out.
Someone else,
Like a
someone
time
else saw
slip.
it as
Here
well,
comes the
though.
frequency. Here comes the
No.
frequency.
This is where it changes.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's a dragon. Anyway, so I put it out on this channel. Probably about, was it before you started, Nicole, or was it after? Can you remember?
It was before.
Right, so it's before Nicole came on. So a guy got in touch with me. He lived on the other side of the city in the south, which was probably about 10 miles nearer to London. And he went, I've just listened to your show about the pterodactyl. He goes, I see him on the same. So he was in a place called New Bradwell. So they've gone to an Asda, which is like a Walmart, just like a little supermarket. And they was in the car park. And he goes, we stopped in the car park, him and his missus, because the sun was setting. It's a beautiful night, middle of summer. And goes, he just what like bright orange sky and everything. And they noticed this bird in the sky. And he thought it was like a seagull or something. And as it turned, it probably grew about 10, it grew about 10 foot. So where he was and where he was looking was probably about 2 miles away. Like,
wow.
He was looking from the east, I'm looking from the west. So where I was, and I'm looking, we seen it roughly in the same place. We've worked out it was the same time of year. It was the same year, roughly about the same time of year, except he'd seen his about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night as the sun's setting. So I seen this about 10:30, 11 o'clock. So it had been hanging around, if it was the same night, for at least 2 hours, or there was more than one. But he goes, right. The way you described it to what him and his missus seen was exactly the same, except he could see the wings moving, the tail, the head bobbing and all that. It's like kind of like sweep round and down.
And what was the time difference between yours? Was like at 11 and his was earlier?
Well, I'd say between 1 and 2 hours. Because mine, I've got a 1 hour window in mine because I don't know the exact time. Mine was between 10:30 and 11:30. And his was about 8:30, 9:30.
And there's a good chance there's probably multiple ones, right? Because even with like when you see orbs, like orange orbs, for example, if you see one moving through slowly and it's completely silent, if you stick around, I can assure you in the next 10 minutes or so, you'll see another one following that same path.
I've never seen a single orb. It's always been at least two. That, the orange ones, the first time I went to Rendlesham Forest, me and this guy called Alex, we stood at a tree and he was telling me about all the encounters they had. We watched two orange orbs go like that across the floor. And I thought it was a reflection off his watch. Then I realised we would have had to be hanging upside down with the watch the other way around, reflecting the sun onto the floor. And then it happened again, straight about 2 minutes after. But there was geometric shape. There's like dodecagon. I can't think of an hexagon, octagon, whatever. It had like the sides around it, and two of them, and they just moved zigzagging across the floor. It wasn't solid. It was like 2-dimensional. But we didn't just see them. We seen white ones above going through the trees, above the bushes, and all that. So it's just loads of weird stuff going on everywhere.
Awesome. Very awesome. Hey, man, thanks for that Dr. Rebecca Foster hookup, dude, because I got to interview her, and she talked about your experience with that Bigfoot, the both of you.
South Fork. Yeah.
Yes.
She's amazing, and she's so tied in and connected and real. Like, she was seeing stuff before that night, broad daylight, something like cloaking in the trees. And then when we left, she also had another experience with Jeff, which I don't know if she talked about that, and with that same being or Bigfoot, and freaking amazing.
It was great.
Great. Right. We've got a question or two for you, because I know you've got to get going soon, because we're nearly at the hour mark.
Yeah. Let's start with this one. A question for Ronnie from a Mr. Barnett. Who is the best person who has ever picked him up from an airport?
So this is a great story because Daniel Lee Barnett, what's up, buddy? His dad picked me up from the airport when we were filming my Bigfoot life. And I first met Craig and we're driving and he goes, we had talked before too, like, is there any place you want to see on the way we get back or while you're here? And I said, I would love to see Stonehenge. And so he goes, okay, it's kind of a little bit off the track, but we can check it out before sundown and then get back and get to Bridgewater. And so we're talking and I said, it's funny. We're talking about synchronicity and how the universe hears what you're saying, almost like it has an Alexa. And I said, sometimes people talk about wanting to see a UFO and then a UFO appears. And we're, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes away from, and we have this on video too, from the dash cam and even I think my cell phone.
Oh, we've got to see that.
We're approaching Stonehenge and he's like, what the F is that? And we see this huge orange glowing orb hovering over Stonehenge to the left of it. But we can see the sun on the other side, starting to set, but we see this light hovering over Stonehenge. And he goes, no effing way. And we were like losing our minds that we see a UFO over Stonehenge on the way as we were talking about orange orbs and all that stuff. So he goes, I am never picking you up from the airport ever again.
Dude, I'll do it. I'll go and see some UFOs at Stonehenge.
It could have been an abduction case.
Were you missing time?
For sure.
Did you miss any time?
Wow.
Not that I was aware of, but when those things happen, most people don't know until they're under hypnotic regression or years later when they have these weird memories that percolate up. So, but it freaked him out quite a bit. It was awesome though.
I think more people probably have missing time than realize, because how many times you think, well, time went really quick.
Yeah,
I had an experience when I was in the force, just coming out when I was a kid. I used to go in the woods by myself or with friends, whatever. But a lot of times I'd be kind of just exploring on my own. And I do remember a time coming out of the forest and suddenly it was like dusk. And it was faster and quicker than, I better start going. It was like broad daylight. And then suddenly seconds later, it seemed like, so I felt like I had some missing time there, but didn't really understand what was going on.
Yeah. Right, next question is
not
from
always
Simon.
Looking at your watch all the time.
Right.
Yeah. Next question from Simon. So we're going back to talking about, we were saying about spirits and that. So the Earth has consciousness. Maybe it's replaying memories to itself, and that's what we're seeing. So when, like with the different timelines, like, are we looking at ghosts? The ghosts think we're looking at them, and we don't really know what is that's going on.
Well, like a time slip.
So, I think that could be the case on some things, like something residual, but then you have cases where people are actually communicating with these things from other timelines. And that's where things get really interesting and curious. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. But on that note, this has come up a bunch of times in the past week or two for me. Why do you think we don't have dinosaur ghosts, caveman ghosts from like 200 AD? Why are they all like Victorian and all?
Well,
we have some caveman ghosts in Ken's cabin.
That's actually, there's a gentleman that was a hunter, and I talk about him in the book as well, that where he was seeing a small elf-like creature. He also witnessed what he described was a velociraptor, was a dinosaur.
Wow.
And he said it looked not ethereal. It looked 3D kind of running through, but he was like, he thought he was going crazy.
And he survived?
He survived. And he also saw a Native American chief appear and heard it start talking to this Pukwudgie type elf-like creature and communicating back and forth. And this little thing turned and started pointing at him like they were aware of his presence, and he could hear them talking to each other.
That's cool.
So,
Pukwudgie pointed at me.
Yeah.
I've
got a theory on that. So if you was to see someone present day that's a ghost, how would you know? Because they're dressed in modern day clothing. You wouldn't give them a second look. unless it was semi-transparent.
Right.
So
I've seen something solid that I thought was real, and then I looked up and it was gone, and I thought it was a person. I interacted, I spoke to it. I asked him if he needed help. He looked like a vagrant, last of the summer wine compo, but
I have something really, and I haven't really talked about this too much, but I went to
exclusive. Come on.
in school, and we used to go. I was in Southern California, and we used to go to this movie theater in Seal Beach. It was $1 a movie. So as a college student, we would all, 10 of us, 12 of us go. And I forget what movie it was we watched, but when we came out of the theater, it was like 11:30, quarter of midnight. There's hardly any cars in the parking lot. The lights were off. We were like the last ones out of the last movie. But we were walking towards the parking lot, and we're talking about God. And what would you do? It had to be the theme of the movie we watched, but it was like, what would you do if God showed up, or and how would you interact and whatever? And so as we came around the corner, there was an African-American woman in a wheelchair, like a motorized wheelchair, like moving towards us. And she goes, "Excuse me, could you spare any change?" And she extended her hand. And when I looked in her eyes, my spirit, my whole body was like vibrating, shaking, that I was like, this isn't a human like it felt like a weird test, I swear. And everyone was kind of like, so I pulled out, I grabbed a 20 out of my pocket and I handed her a $20 bill. And she goes, and the way she said it, she goes, "God bless you." And I was kind of like, right? So we turn, we start walking maybe 4 seconds. And one of my friends turns around and goes, "Guys, she's gone." And everyone turns around and she was gone. Like she vanished into thin air, and there was no way and no place for her to go in this parking lot. And my friend goes, "You just passed the test." And I was like, holy crap. It was like an angel or some kind of weird, I don't know, but it was like, I could tell even just looking at the eyes, they say the eyes are windows to the soul.
Yeah.
It was like this power behind it. Like I just was like, whoa, this isn't. It was like somebody. I got the impression it was somebody. It was like a mask, so to speak.
Yeah.
It wasn't a real human being, but someone looking like one. And then the fact that they disappear and there's like 10 of us there. We're like, what the hell?
And you have been blessed, my friend. You have been blessed. Absolutely.
Yes. I'm grateful for all the things I've experienced and seen, and I'm grateful for the stuff I'm gonna see that I haven't seen yet.
Wow.
But that's kind of actually like a trope, think Beauty and the Beast, where the old beggar lady comes to the door and he slams it and she gets cursed.
Yeah.
Or there's that horror movie where, the old witch goes into the bank for a loan and they deny her and then they drag the person to hell.
Right.
So look what could have happened if you didn't acknowledge her.
That's kind of freaked me out, because that was kind of what my experience was. There was this old guy running down the road and he was in his 80s. And in the UK, as sure you know, we have little country lanes with very high hedges.
Sure.
And it's double way, it's not just single way traffic.
Oh, and you can do 60 mile an hour down them.
And you can do 60 mile an hour down them. Yeah. So I'm going down one of these roads, literally going to Milton Keynes to the Robbie Williams concert, funnily enough. It was that weekend.
UFO guy, yeah.
UFO. And this guy is running down the road and he looks like a Victorian vagrant. I mean, all our UK listeners, last of the summer wine compo, that's all I'm going to say. And you'll get what I mean. And I pull over because I was a carer at the time, and I pull my car over and I wait for him to get up, and I, electric window, down the window, turn the engine off, and I'm like, "You all right? Do you need any help? Are you okay?" And he kind of like answers me in this very, very broad Devon, "Oh, I'm all right, mate." And I was like, "You sure? I can give you a lift somewhere if you want. Do you need help?" And he's like, No, I'm fine. And I literally just looked down to turn my ignition back on, looked up, and he was just gone. There was nowhere for this guy to go because we had 6-foot high hedgerows. I pulled into this little farm driveway. There was nowhere for this guy to go, and he just vanished.
Wow.
Dang.
And I was just like, and I was driving down the road going, well, where the frick did he go? But no.
That's epic. Yeah, that's epic. Oh,
Ronnie,
yeah.
you're gonna have to put that story in your next book because that's an
Yes.
amazing story.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's always
It
stuck
is.
with me. Always
I
stuck
have
with me.
I have one more, and I gotta jump. But this one is this was so I went to film school, so I was a big like movie guy, and I love like Oliver Stone movies and
Yeah.
movies that make you think. And Natural Born Killers had come out, I think, a year prior or whatever. And so I've done 5 cross country trips from Massachusetts, from Leominster to Southern California, and different people. One with my dad, different friends, and one in particular I did by myself, almost like a little mecca. And I ended up stopping. It just kind of worked out that I stopped in Gallup, New Mexico, which just happened to be a scene and a location in Natural Born Killers. And so this was like a ghost town, and I ended up getting a hotel room for the night in Gallup, New Mexico. And immediately when I got in the room, I was getting the heebie-jeebies, like it just didn't feel right. And it took me a little while to fall asleep. And then when I did, I started dreaming, or at least I thought it was a dream. And I opened my eyes and I looked up to the ceiling, and it looked like a pool upside down, like it looked like water, okay, on the ceiling. And I was like, what the hell? And so, and this, it was so vivid. So I start to look at it, and I see it kind of rippling, and you can't really see into it per se, but it just looked liquid. So I end up standing on the bed in my dream, and I put my hand really slowly towards the ceiling, and it actually starts to go inside the ceiling like water. And as soon as my fingers start to go through, it was like a suction effect where suddenly my hand went in and I started getting lifted off of the bed.
Wow.
In the dream. Well, I woke up in the middle of my hand up, and I'm in midair, and I'm landing back down onto the bed.
Can I add
And
something onto this in a minute? I know you've got to go.
instantly went, what the fuck? Grabbed all my shit. It was 4 in the morning. I packed my car, and I just started driving towards California. I just left, and I was like, what the? And I feel like it was like a portal of something. And I wonder what would have happened if I let myself keep on going.
Yeah.
Would I have just
You'd be
vanished,
missing, my
or-
friend.
Yeah.
Right?
Have you
But
Have you
that-
heard
Experience.
have you heard of
Yeah.
Steve Mera?
No.
So he's a
No.
ufologist, phenomenist in the UK. So he used to go out on investigations, and there's a local paper called the Manchester Evening News. It's from the same part of England as what I am. And there's a bit, if you look it up, you'll see all the details. The Rochdale poltergeist.
Yeah.
So he was doing the investigation at this place. And one of the things that he was saying was there was water on the ceiling, and it was dripping upwards.
Oof.
As soon as you said that, he's like, that's Steve Mera. And,
Whoa.
and then they had an report where this cup, this ceramic cup, went through, vanished. Then a few hours later, a day after, it came back, and they did tests on it and everything. I can't remember the exact results.
Reported.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I
only-
just with you saying the water on the ceiling.
Yeah.
It was that.
The only other experience I had, which was on drugs, was this was in California, and one of my friends had salvadoria, which is this plant, like plant medicine, and we just mixed it with a little bit of weed, and it only lasts for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was like, the person takes a couple hits, and then you just watch them, and it lasts for maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds.
Mhm.
And you just see somebody kind of go, like they're seeing, almost like a DMT kind of thing. And I remember suddenly I'm just staring at the wall, and then everything just became like water and liquid. Everything was connected, all the colors, like you saw through the illusion of the matter. You saw what was really, that it was all like this, almost like a projection of sorts. And then suddenly it just kind of and went right back to being normal. And I was like, whoa. Like,
What plant is this, and where can we get it?
Salvadoria. It was I think it's still illegal at the time, but he had somehow gotten it from Canada. You can get it, but it was something that you're not supposed to do a lot of it, but we just tried it, and that was the first time I've ever done it. And it was, again, one of those that was the equivalent. I go, oh, I've seen this before. Like I've experienced this before, and equated it to the New Mexico thing.
Oh, you do know you can. So the plants to make DMT you can buy on Amazon. You can buy the seeds. Anyway, just thought I'd tell you that.
Shout out to Adam Butler, who put the recipe in his book.
Yes.
There you go. Have you ever known? Have you ever known of having someone going through something? Again, this goes back to a weird experience I had years ago. Going through something solid when they're not in that altered state through drugs, but in an altered state through obviously meditation, spiritual work, and stuff like that. Because I had this, it was at a place called Lupton House in Brixham years ago now, back in it was about 2012, 2013. And they were doing a What's It night there, and I'd gone along, and we had this woman there, this medium, and she does a lot of work with higher beings, angels, and stuff like that. We were in the place called the Sanctuary, and this is where they do a lot of the wedding stuff. It's like this old chapel. And apparently I was like the Ready Brett woman. I was vibrating like no one's business. I remember certain bits from that night, but I can't remember all of it. I just remember it being very, very hazy. Hadn't taken anything, guys, just to be clear. And,
of course.
She didn't inhale.
I didn't inhale, no. I did not partake. And we were in the sanctuary, and she just said to me, put your hand through the wall. And I was like, oh, what are you talking about, put your hand through the wall? And I put my hand, and I'm not kidding you, it went to about there, up into this solid wall before I brought it back, and I freaked the hell out.
Wow.
Other people saw this, like, going on. So, there was people in the room with me, and they were going, do it again. I was like, no. And I went outside.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Solid wall. We're talking about medieval buildings, so big, thick, solid wall.
I'd be gone because I would have been putting my whole body through the wall.
I went outside, and I was outside because I went outside for a cigarette because I was just like freaked the frick out, to be quite honest with you. And I was outside with this woman called Glenda, sorry, and we were watching all the tree tops light up, and they were just. I can't explain it. It was like they were communicating with each other. The trees were flashing really high in the canopy, about 50 feet high in the canopy, and just flashing at each other. And we're both just standing there going, what?
Now, was that spot that your hand went through, have people been able to do that at that spot? Or
yes.
was it just,
yes, they have.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's almost like this weird membrane, like this is where there's like a hole. Wild.
A portal.
But because I was vibrating at such a rate, apparently that's why she said put your hand through it, and I was like, oh yeah, right, yeah.
Whoa.
Phasing.
Quick shout out to Ronnie. Ronnie has a band, or he had a band in the 90s called Hint. And if you want to check out, the man can sing, so check out Hint. Are you still going to do like do it again with the band? And
it's funny. I've been kind of mulling over doing something like that again, and I talked to my the guitar player him and I started the band years ago in LA, and so I think eventually at some point we'll do some kind of jam session or whatever. But I do miss it. It was a lot of fun. I'm still a huge music guy. I listen to music and sing every day. But
it's really good, man. Check it out, you guys.
Check
it out.
So I've got one last thing for you, and then we can plug the three things because I know you've got to shoot off. So you're saying about things that you've never seen. So I've got something to show you, and I just want your opinion as to what you think it is.
Okay.
I know what it is.
I keep forgetting every show.
Oh my God.
Show the butt. Yeah, look at that butt, baby. Yeah. Daddy like. Daddy like.
I've shown it Ranking Sharp. I've shown it RPG. A few other guests. And
it's doing better in alcohol.
Where'd you get it?
So I bought it from another guy who lives in Manchester, one of the moderators, Baby with a Laser. His real name's Darren. He messaged me one day and said, I've got this thing that you might be interested in. Make me an offer. So he sent me a photo. I'm like, yeah. So I replied with my offer and he went, it's yours. So it's like my car was off the road. So I need to get the car fixed. So in that week, I got the car fixed, drove 2.5 hours up to Manchester, and I'm just sat there staring at this thing. So I had it in... So it was getting all bitty in that at the bottom, like all bits of crap and what have you. So I thought, right, I need to clean it. I need to. So I didn't want to do it. So I had it about 8 months before I took it out. So I took it out the jar, cleaned it all, and put it back. I thought, right, I'll put it in water, see how it goes. And it's been in water for probably about another 8 months. And it started getting like fungus and all that around the eyes and what have you. So 2 weeks ago, I bought some 99.9% alcohol off Amazon. So I took it out, cleaned it, got all the bits off it, poured the alcohol in, put a bit of water in it, and then tightened it back up. Since I've done that, it's gone back to the natural colour that it was before, and all the growth and stuff on it has come off. So I believe it's, when I first opened it, it stunk of rotten cabbage, which anything organic would do anyway if it's in a liquid, regardless of what liquid it is. But it's like now it's back in the alcohol. It's gone back to the colour that it was originally. So I didn't think it was anything. I just thought it was like some sort of movie prop. But I'm now going back to the fact that could it be organic just because of how it's reacting, how it's reacted to alcohol and how it's reacted to water.
Man, I don't know. It's weird.
It's the three fingers and the excuse my it's the butthole. Why would you have a movie prop with a butthole?
Right.
Why wouldn't you have a movie prop with a butthole? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
What kind of movie was it?
Well. And I've never seen anyone else with one of these, and it took me about 2 weeks to find one that looked like that, and it was selling for $99,000 on eBay, and that was 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's in the same jar. It looks exactly the same. It could even be the same one. I don't know. I've never seen any. Seen the little crappy green ones or the grey ones that you get in with the slime that you can buy for kids, like anything between $10 and $20, but nothing to that detail.
Get it X-rayed, Andy.
Yeah.
But this is the
That's
other thing.
Not a bad idea.
When I took it out and I'm laying over the bathtub to clean it, I'm putting it on my fingers. I didn't have gloves on, but I'm feeling brave. My fingertips had like a funny residue on them. And I had to use
never shaking your hand, man. Never.
What's it called?
He's like, I then made a sandwich.
It's not soap. It's hand cleansing stuff.
Pure
alcohol. Yeah. Like what you had during lockdown.
He licked it and had this trip like you wouldn't believe, man.
Right?
Like a toad.
It's like the toad. If you lick it, you go on a psychedelic trip. If you lick the alien,
So
it was Edward Mordrake. Don't turn around; you'll see a second head growing.
Well, this was the thing. It was like a really weird. It wasn't sticky. It was smooth, but it was a weird like film over my fingertips, and it's just don't
what it
know
tastes
what
like, Andy.
Chicken. Everything tastes like chicken.
You're in the Matrix, dude.
Yeah. So I don't know what it is. It is what it is, and whether it's real or not, I don't. For me, it doesn't matter. But it's just, I don't think I want to know what it is because I don't want to ruin the illusion.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's solid.
If you ever want to know what it is, let me know.
That wouldn't be in my house. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, the guy got it off. He wasn't allowed it in his house. I got told off the missus that I'm not allowed it here. And I had it on the top of the wardrobe, so when you wake up at night and you see it, it's there right opposite the bed. So it's now moved over this side.
Has it tried to crawl out the jar and get you in the night yet, Andy?
Only the AI version.
That you know of.
So,
I know Ronnie has to get going, so can we plug what
yeah, let's see that.
image.
Yeah.
Make sure we don't miss it.
So here's a cruise.
Yeah, we're doing a really cool thing. Gather Up Events. Marty, I've worked with him for the past 5 years on different conferences like the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference. And he started doing these cruises a few years ago, David Paulides, Missing 411. And he approached me about doing like a paranormal cruise going into Bermuda. And it just happens to be that we're sailing off from Salem, Mass, Boston, going up to Nova Scotia, and then going to Bermuda. And this is right around, we're going to be out near the Bermuda Triangle during Halloween. So this is a 7-day cruise we're excited about.
Very cool.
And then next week, I'm going to be at the Ozark Mountain UFO Conference. So my first time speaking there, I think this is their 38th year.
Wow.
Dolores Cannon started
Wow.
this. And
Wow.
so I'm really excited to speak at this next week, and some great people that are going to be speaking there too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're around Arkansas next weekend, if you can make it, Eureka Springs, I'll be there next weekend.
Yeah, and this is the same one, is it? Or is
Yeah,
it
so this
something
is
else?
the cruise. Yeah, so Katrina, Jessica Chabot from Expedition X with Josh Gates, myself, RPG. So this is in October, and I have like a little special code. So if you use that code, you purchase a cabin, you get $100 in merchandise credit, and then a free VIP dinner one night during the cruise as well. So it's going to be, the idea is we get to go explore, but it's really about just having fun and celebrating with like-minded people.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And off the top of your head, are you doing any the conventions kind of like in the Northeast?
Yeah, so I'm going to be in Atlantic City in a couple of weeks for AlterCon, which it's going to be at the Showboat Casino, and I'm doing another event there. So I'm trying to do a lot more stuff. I'm always speaking at different libraries in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island. So I'll be announcing a lot more of those dates as they come in.
And some of these are free, right, Ronnie? Because when you go up
all
to these
the-
places.
Yeah, so the cool thing with the libraries is it's always free for people to come to the talks. It gives them a chance to meet other people, grab books, but just even start sharing some of the different stories. And it's amazing, the people that would not typically go to a paranormal conference or a UFO festival or a Bigfoot event will come to these talks and kind of look at things a little bit differently, but a lot of times they have stories that you wouldn't expect to hear from some of these different people, and that just kind of connect to this whole weirdness.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I like the library talks for that as well, because you get people who are a little more on the reserve side coming out, but they have some wild stories.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much,
Well,
Ronnie, for being on the show, man.
Absolute
Yeah,
pleasure,
thanks for having me,
mate.
guys.
Loved it.
Appreciate it.
Loved it.
Thank you.
And just before you go, so do you know when Abby got you to sign? So you, RPG, Brian, and Daniel signed this.
Yes. Yes.
I ambushed you all.
I'm not. I do want to keep it, but I'm not. I'm not going to be that cruel. So we're doing a 24-hour podcast again in July. So
Oh,
we're going
wow.
to give it. We're going to give it away on that, but I've not decided how we're going to do it.
We'll figure something out. Something
Super
good.
cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, massive thank you, Ronnie. So
Thank you, guys.
Pleasure.
Really appreciate
Absolutely
it.
amazing.
We'll let you go because I know you're very, very busy, and you've got your new dog as well, which I think is amazing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was
So
going to try to bring him
cute.
in here. He's
Aw.
about this big, Milo.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be posting day 2. He actually likes phones, and he actually set off FaceTime. And there's a video. I'm going to post that shortly. But
Nice.
Oh.
Aw.
Please do. Well,
And who
thank
is that
you
you're
so
sporting
much.
on your chest, Ronnie?
Who's
this
that
is
handsome
my
gentleman?
good friend David from
Oh.
David Don't Know.
Oh.
You can see
I'm not
that
worthy.
No, you're not. Right. So yeah,
Thank you
if
so
you've
much,
not
so much,
already,
guys.
if you've not already got it, go out and get Interdimensional by Ronny LeBlanc. Definitely worth
Yeah.
it.
Don't be lame.
Thank you,
Get
guys.
that book.
Yes. And if you,
Thank you,
I
guys.
will.
Great
That's
seeing
why
you.
I'm asking when he's in.
And if you're
when he's doing it in
lazy-
the Northeast, so I can go get one and get it signed.
get the hard copy, but get it on Audible. Right, we'll let you go while we wrap up the show. So massive thank you again.
Thanks so much,
Thanks,
guys.
Ronnie.
All right.
Ronnie.
Take care.
Hopefully
care.
we'll speak to you again soon. See you later, mate.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
See you guys.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow,
Great
dude.
guy.
I
That was
know.
fun.
Mhm.
It was fun. And do you know what made it more fun? The fact that we've actually met him in person.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
you know what made it more fun for me? He was wearing my face on his chest.
Well,
Wow.
yeah.
Here's your Ronnie
I mean, that's
LeBlanc shirt.
bromance, David. That's
I
proper
know.
bromance.
Have
Where's
you
my
seen
penis?
the thing with who is it? Is it Paul Rudd? Who has a somebody?
I have a
who's
shirt, a Paul Rudd
celebrity.
shirt.
Yeah.
I have a Paul Rudd shirt in my closet, actually.
There's two celebrities that like just keep going back and forth with pictures of each other's faces on their shirts.
What's that?
Yeah,
That-
and I
that's
think
what
that
you
needs
two
to be
need
you
to
and
do.
Ronnie.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll
there
do
you
it.
go.
We've got our alien suit sorted for the 24-hour.
Yes, we do.
What? Oh,
We do.
right. So there was someone in the chat before. I'm not going to say who it is, but we're doing the filming in July
Yeah.
for. Hopefully, it's going to go out on Netflix. So it's all to do with alien stuff. Not going to give too much away, but they said, would I be prepared to wear an alien outfit?
This I've got to see.
And I'm like, oh, I'm not
I think
sure.
there's a ghost.
Yeah.
Ooh, something going on.
You hear
Anyway,
stuff.
Little one at the
So-
door.
Yeah, that was fantastic. All the guests are
That was great.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So the
you guys,
show that
you guys get a great job. You get a great job on that. I just want to say, excellent. Oh my God.
that's what I mean. It's easy when you've met him and you met him in person. Even if you just have that 5-minute chat,
Yeah.
it's good. It makes it that chemistry. It changes that chemistry.
It does, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It gives you that a little bit more. So privileged to have met him and everyone else that I've met.
And it's a
So,
good book, guys.
bad.
You can
Yep.
go get it.
I'm gonna.
So
I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah, I nick your parking space, so you know, and then you invite me on.
try
the show.
to. Well, I'm panicking. Thinking, shit, whoever's that coming down in the car right having my parking spot. Anyway, that's another story.
Well, whatever.
So,
Me
yeah.
and David are gonna hang out in August, and you guys are gonna. Have
That's
fun.
right.
I know,
That's
man.
right.
I'm coming to
So-
America. I'm
When
getting my
it comes.
passport sorted,
So
and I'm
quickly.
flying over, man.
Do it.
So the guy who had the encounter the other day with the orb that looked like a moon, and then the church bells started ringing, and the power cut and all that. Go back and watch it. It's what we did
Yeah.
this afternoon. He's coming on the show for the UA Pizza on the first Friday in May. So
Oh,
he's going to go
fantastic.
into detail about it and give a better. Obviously, he was there, I wasn't, so he can give a more detailed explanation as to exactly
Sweet.
what went on, times, and all that. So he's going to come on and talk about that. So he would come on a Monday, but that's when he does his podcast. He starts 15 minutes before we do. So I don't want to drag him away from that when he's already got plans and what have you. So yeah, he's going to be doing that. And yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else. Obviously, we're not doing a cryptid hour this Sunday because it is Easter and Jesus won't be
yeah.
impressed.
Is
Sorry,
the
I'm not
Easter Bunny
religious.
a cryptid?
I think the Easter Bunny
Yes.
is a cryptid. Yes.
Yeah,
That brings you lots of chocolate and joy.
yeah. But when he locked in the cave for 2 days and then come out with loads of chocolate eggs, something like that.
No,
I don't
you
know.
think you're
There
mixing
you go.
up
101
three.
times. There you go. 101.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, you need to do the next best bit.
I can't
Oh.
see it. Signed.
Oh, I see that. I don't see the other. I can't see on it. There we go. There, I see
There
it.
we go.
There you go.
Nice.
You guys can get a signed copy if you go to RonnieLeBlanc.com.
No, I'm gonna go to a convention because I want to get it signed in person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can do that. Everyone
I'm gonna
else
do that, but everybody else also go see him.
definitely go to the.
Yeah.
Just go and see
Website,
him.
guys.
It's like when me and Abby
Yeah.
got to interview him, and Brian and Ryan and Craig and Daniel and Chris and everyone,
Yeah.
just to sit there and be the people that was doing that interview with the audience there, and they didn't know
Oh.
what we was going to ask. And
Well,
what
we
have
didn't
you.
know what we were going to ask 2 minutes because we only found out we were
No.
doing it 2 minutes before.
Because Daniel goes, "Have you got any questions?" I'm like, "You know how many questions I've got? 0. Well, don't worry. Give me 2 minutes. I'll have 10 for you." So it was all right. And it
I'd
was
all
just to
mine for the
sit
day
there,
before.
yeah, but to sit there in front of him and have the opportunity just to ask him
Yeah.
whatever you wanted was it's
It was
something else
brilliant.
completely. And this is
And
why I
that-
love doing this for things
that-
like that.
Channel shall be available soon. It's just being the final edits are going onto it from the 3 cameras and the sound are being stitched. So yeah.
Yes. So it's
Well, I didn't get to meet him in person, but I did get to interview him on David Don't Know, and it was
Yes.
freaking awesome.
That was amazing.
He's so-
episode.
He did
Top
tell that
guy.
story where he went up into the ceiling in the water.
Yeah.
He told me that
I
story,
could
and that's
tell
just
you
amazing.
were not surprised.
I was like, yes, he's telling that story. I love it.
But what? So in a couple of weeks, we've got Steve Mera coming on a Monday. You guys are not
Yay.
going to be there, but I'm going to ask him about the water on the ceiling, just go into a little bit, even though it's coming on to talk about the UFOs, I just wanted to mention that because it's relating to what Ronnie's just said.
Also, as well, UFOs does go into the paranormal, Andy. You get a lot of poltergeist stuff going on when you have.
Can I?
Yes.
I'm going to put this on a level now. Right. UFO files, 80%.
Yeah.
Cryptids,
10, 20,
8%. 8%.
8.
Paranormal, 2%.
Okay. Okay.
But it's all connected.
No,
just like Ronnie says, it's all connected.
Sorry, no.
Paranormal,
Not 80%.
All of this. You mean
90?
Your math is failing you, sir.
Yeah, 90% UFO.
Get back to MIT.
I thought U.S. schools were bad.
8%.
Oh, I like that.
8% cryptids.
I have
2% ghosts and spirits. That's it. So.
Yeah.
Aww.
Wow. Look at that head. Look at that head, dog.
I'm liking that. I've not got an alien.
I've got.
I see what you started, Nicole.
There you go. Alien
You're a trendsetter.
Things.
Oh, I've got me alien cards. Pick a card, any card.
The middle one. The one with the ghost on it. The paranormal
I'm surrounded by ancient Egypt stuff.
I'm
surrounded by pyramids.
I do have.
Yeah. Oh, E.T. Oh, don't touch him. He'll go off and he won't stop going off.
Did that before. And then I've got this one. You ready?
We'll have to pay royalties to Spielberg.
That's the one that abducts cows, by the way.
Or moose.
I know.
So, David, what have you got going on this week? What shows have you got coming out?
So, Nicole is on my show this week, and it is an awesome interview. We talk about a lot of cool shit. She has awesome answers to the 6 questions. Actually, one of them I posted today because I had never heard that answer on that question. So definitely check it out.
The way you clipped that, by the way, with all like the animations in it, that was
Well,
really
thank
cool.
you. Yeah. Thank you so much. I work really hard.
Question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
When's the one going out that I did, or did you just?
We did one. I don't remember. We did one, really. I'm serious. Yeah, it's coming out. It's coming out soon.
Yeah,
it's coming out soon, sir. Don't worry.
Hey, I did mine in December, beginning December, and it was released Valentine's Day. So David's a couple of months ahead. He is a couple.
That's right. I have a lot of people.
I did mine in 1982. So I don't know what's going on.
Wow, I didn't realize I was going back then.
He was 10.
I was 11.
Oh, he was 9. Oh, 11.
I was
11.
-8.
And you're older than me? What the hell?
No, wait. No, I was 9. I was born in 73.
Right. Again, I'm very worried about the UK school system. It's very concerning to me right now.
That's good.
No. So Nicole is this week. Next week is going to be Jen from 305 Paranormal, another paranormal investigator. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but Andy might be very next week after that. And these are just great conversations, guys. Check it out. And I do have another podcast. I have another podcast called Deeper Down the Rabbit Hole with David. It's out now. We cover CERN. That's episode 1. Thank you, Nicole, for being there. Thank you, Abby, for watching. No, thank you, Andy, for not being there yet.
I
will be there.
On YouTube.
6 a.m. for work.
And thank you, David, for coming into Paranormal Tea Time.
You're
on
welcome.
Wednesday.
I support those who support me. Thank you so much, Nicole.
You
and
guys
so
were all
anyway,
sleeping. It was 8:30.
I'm hoping episode 2 is going to be with my Alien 8 UK family, and we're probably going to talk about aliens, of course. There's that. Thank you, Abby, for asking.
Mine, I have just recorded. I'm plugging mine now.
Do it.
Mine is Lifting the Veil with Abby Dent on on YouTube.
It's a great show, by the way. It's a great show. Who's your co-host?
Nicola Phillips.
Woo!
Amy's crying. Sorry, carry on. No resist.
Oh my god!
It's about time you gonged me. I gonged you enough times last time.
It's been a while.
Whoa!
It's been
I don't
a
need to
while.
know your business, Abby.
I know, right?
From way downtown, Nicole. Nice one.
I'm getting burned. Hey, me and you are allies, girl, and we're normally against him.
Again, I'm sorry, you're a gong on your co-host. Who is your co-host now?
Nicola Phillips. So
Who
who joined us
nickname?
for St. Nick
Nickname.
when we had the when we did the Christmas special. So yeah,
Mhm.
she's just joined me on the show, and we interviewed Sir Brian Bowden. That episode just dropped yesterday, and we go into
Daddy
all
like.
remote viewing and
Yes.
all sorts. And what was really, really freaked me out is, we spoke to Paranormal Paul on Tuesday.
Yes.
After the show, he was telling me his experiences with the God helmet and how Brian was remote viewing, and that's the exact same stuff that Brian was telling me. So those stories literally coincided within days of me speaking, and I didn't realize we were doing a Tuesday show. So that
There you
really
go.
freaked me out.
Very cool.
In a good way.
Yes.
Very good.
I'll shut up now.
Shiva Tony.
Well,
What
we've
I
got
got,
5
I got-
minutes.
I got tea time. So Wednesday nights at 8:30 EST, ass o'clock in the morning UK time. Me and Stephanie from my team member from Full Moon Paranormal. She also works at the Haunted Shanley Hotel. We hop on, we just bullshit for an hour, talk paranormal. Sometimes we have a topic. It usually goes off topic, but it's a lot of fun. And we drink tea.
Not like you.
I like
Guys,
it.
go check that out, guys. It's great.
Definitely.
Freaking
What
love
are
it.
the chances of it going off topic?
Well, it depends if you're doing the
Exactly.
AI background, Andy.
That's true.
Oh, dive and go there. Hey, it's been good to me this week, so I'm not knocking it.
All
So
right.
Monday we have part 2 with Jay Austin talking USOs, but we've got another couple of things. We're going to talk. So I'm watching tomorrow. I'm going to be watching, as well as David's stream. Going to be watching S4, the Bob Lazar documentary.
Yeah.
So we're
Oh,
going to talk
yes.
about. So I'm going to talk about that on Monday.
Yeah.
Friday, we've got the Wednesdays, but we've not decided what we're doing on them yet. So Wednesdays are still going with me and Nicole. But it's going to be a different subject each week, and it's reality check. So
Love it.
Friday, Michelle says she's coming on. I'll see it when I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. Whatever. I can't speak. I can't
She's
math.
another
Don't worry.
Tommy, man.
Yeah.
Her
So
and Tommy are just
she's
at a birthday
she's
party.
coming on Friday. My mate
Makes them
Damien's
very
coming
special.
on. My mate Damien's coming on. He's an actor and producer. He's making a werewolf movie in the UK. So he's going to come on and talk about that.
Nice.
Then the following Monday, that
Are
is
you
when
playing the
UFO. I have asked him, but he's not got back to me yet. But who knows? So for Monday, the 13th of April, is when it's UFO files tonight, but it's going full UFO files. Monday is Steve Mera. He's going to come and talk about that. I'm going to ask him about the water on the ceiling with the Rochdale poltergeist, amongst other stuff. And then we've got Kevin Day, the original Tic Tac experiencer from back in the early 2000s, 2012, was it? 2012, 2014?
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
He's going to send me the exact details. He has sent them me, but it was on my old email address, so I don't have them. Then the following Friday, on 24th, we have Coley Webber from SNX Radio.
Ooh,
She does a
nice.
podcast. We've been arranging to work together for quite a while now, but something always crops up and it just never happens.
yeah.
So, hey, he's a handsome guy in the background. Look at him.
It looks like that little
Beautiful.
alien in a bottle, right?
Somebody, that's what I'm doing after.
So,
I know what I'm doing.
on the 24th, Jay Austin's going to come on as well because he's worked with Coley. So
Yeah.
I said it'd be nice for him to come on so we can just keep it on that. Just freeze it. The other way. And
I'm going the wrong way. Go ahead.
Yeah. And that's
I'm
other
Nicole
than
here
Paul
somewhere.
Howard coming on talking about what I put out today. That's it for guests so far because we
Yeah.
need to do a few. I've been looking at the Even when I talk slow, I can't say it. Enigma app.
Payback.
Enigma app, and there's loads of new stuff on there from
Yes,
around
there
the
is,
UK.
yeah.
There's a lot from
Yeah.
Manchester and London on there, so I'm going to dig into that a little bit over the weekend and drag some stuff off it.
Yes.
And other than that, that's it. So thank you to the new subscribers, tier members, Blazer, Darren, all the other moderators, Chiro Sounds, Midwest, who, as and when they can get on, and all they've messaged me telling me what they've got going on in their personal life. So this is why I have a few different moderators, because they can't all make it on set days. So
yeah. And thank you for their comments on my channel as well. They're much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if anyone needs a moderator, Blazer is the person.
Blazer's the man. Blazer's the man.
Yeah, Blazer, I gotta shoot you a message.
There you go. It's just
Only
going to
if
be
you're wearing your gold spangle pants from the other video.
Yeah.
The what was it? The flares from the country folk.
Yeah, I'll you know what? I'll send you that video. I'll upload it onto your bit in a minute, so you can use it on there. I can copy it into different brands, so it's all good. Right, I'm gonna have to go because I've been sat in this chair literally all day. So
all right,
happy Easter, everyone. Eat lots of chocolate.
Happy Zombie
Happy
Jesus
Easter.
Day.
See you on Monday. Oh,
Happy Zombie Jesus Day. I love
that
it.
Just threw me out. I'm gone on that. See you at half eight on Monday. There may be another one thrown in the mix somewhere if I've not got a lot going on. Not decided yet. If you guys are not busy on Monday at any point, I don't know if you guys are working in the US on Monday. It's a bank holiday in the UK, so if you're not working hospitality or retail, then you get a day off. So,
and just for the 105th time, check out Ronnie's book.
Ronnie's book.
Yeah.
Do it.
Good book, guys. Really.
It is a good book.
And check out his new dog. It's cute.
Yeah.
It really is. Milo. Right, that's it. Gonna go. You're gonna get the new video. It's intro, outro till we make a new outro. That's it. Hi, Topper Trufio. But it's also time to say goodbye. So have a wonderful, wonderful Easter weekend. Don't let Zombie Jesus kill you in your sleep. If he does, tough, you're on your own. Blame Nicole, but come back as a shadow person anyway and just haunt her forever. She's a paranormal person, not me. On that note, we're gonna go. I'll see you later. Ta-ra.
Alien 8 UK.
Welcome back. You found it again. The UFO Files. Broadcasting round the clock on Alien 8 UK. Red-eye listeners, insomniacs, sky watchers, van drivers on the long haul. You're tuned to the only station that stares back at the dark with you. 24 hours, we circle the same old questions. Lights over the north, shadows over the south. Phone lines open, headphones on, blinds half drawn. I got case notes spread like takeaway menus. Highlighters bleeding through until sunrise. Coordinates scribbled on coffee stained napkins from a truck stop somewhere near the East Coast. We don't do jump scares here, we do the long stare out the window at 3:33 a.m. when the estate's asleep and the sky feels too crowded. You call in with that voice, half whisper, half dare. First time chatter, long time watcher, and the hairs rise on every neck in frequency range. Maybe it's satellites, maybe it's stories we tell, so we're not alone in these flickering terraces and rented rooms. Either way, keep your dial right here. This is the UFO Files. Alien 8 UK. All night, every night, every night, every night, every night, every night. Welcome back.
Signal acquisition initiated. Cross-referencing anomaly archives. Pattern recognition complete. Aether 8 online. Proceed.